Heading into the 2024-25 season, LeBron James has played 1,779 basketball games in his career, including the playoffs. He's had plenty of memorable performances.
Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer!
But what image comes to your mind when I ask you which game out of those 1,779 is his best? Is it this? Maybe this? This? Here's what I think of. I promise you this is not a backhanded compliment. I admit, there are games where he's performed better statistically. In games under more pressure. And in games that have meant more in the moment and for his legacy. But I truly believe that in Game 1 of the 2018 Finals, LeBron showcased everything that makes him one of the greatest basketball players of all time. At the peak of his powers, on a meaningful stage, against a superior team. In a series he had no chance to win.
Never before in the history of American sports have the same teams bet for a championship in 4 consecutive years until now.
2018 would be the last of 4 consecutive meetings between the Cavs and the Warriors. However, this Cavs team would look a lot different than the previous 3. A disgruntled Kyrie Irving was traded for an injured Isaiah Thomas in the offseason. Thomas would miss most of the season and was traded again to the Lakers for Larry Nance Jr. and Jordan Clarkson. Just over 6 months after acquiring him, he would play just 15 games for the Cavs.
I didn't think they would pull the trigger that fast with 15 games. The Cavs they were in panic mode. We was losing a lot.
Iman Shumpert, who had been on the previous 3 finals teams, was injured and traded away. He played only 14 games. A 36-year-old Dwayne Wade, ill-fitted Derrick Rose, and underperforming Jay Crowder, who were all just signed during the previous offseason, were traded away for Rodney Hood and a declining George Hill, who was now their starting point guard. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Warriors' homegrown trio of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green were still firmly in their prime and pre-injury. Bench stalwarts Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala were still there. Add a pre-blow-up Kevin Durant with another year under Steve Kerr's offensive system, and I count 5 sure Hall of Famers. 6, give or take Iguodala. Add it all up, and you get to the 2018 Cavaliers being the biggest betting underdog going into the finals since the 2001 Iverson Sixers, who were up against. That record deficit still holds today. So if you were watching in 2018, the thought of the Cavaliers defeating the Warriors in a 7-game series? No way. But a single game? Maybe.
It's the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors as we welcome you to the 2018 NBA Finals.
So how could the Cavs take a game? A strong start wouldn't hurt, and that's exactly what the Cavs did. Almost every possession ran through LeBron. You have Draymond Green on me on the perimeter, I'll drive by him. Kevon Looney on a switch? Splash. Sean Livingston? Too small. David West, an undersized center? Hold it high where you can't reach it. Durant? All I need is one screen. Mid-range.
6 for 6 from the field for LeBron James.
LeBron had everything working during the first half.
Blouses.
Displaying the creativity and athleticism reminiscent of his first stint with the Cavs, and the experience and poise he gained since entering the league 15 years prior. He would start 6 for 6 from the field, 9 of 11 for the half, and lead all scorers with 24. Chip in 4 assists for good measure. James had a hand in more than half of the Cavs' total points at the break. Add in 19 points from Kevin Love and J.R. Smith on efficient shooting, and the Cavs had something cooking. Now, against most teams with that type of performance, you should expect to at least go into the half with the lead. But as we already know, the Dubs and their leader were not like most teams.
Curry sets, fires, puts it up, bang! Steph Curry from way downtown! And the first half comes to an end.
Watching the Curry Warriors now for over a decade, you tend to pick up on a few unique characteristics, tendencies that define how they play. The Warriors destroy teams in the third quarter.
I don't know. Our third quarters are good. I have no idea why.
For 3 straight years from 2015 to 2018, the Dubs ranked first in the NBA in third quarter scoring. Everyone knew a Warrior run was coming, and that it would most likely take place in the third quarter.
A very animated Ty Lue came over to his great and he said, we knew coming into this how great they had been in the third quarter. We can cave in or we can decide to fight back right now.
They went on 2. The Warriors immediately went on a 12-5 run to open the quarter and a 9-2 run to close. After a slow start from Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson leaving the game for a quarter due to injury, They scored over half of the Warriors' 28 points in the third.
Thompson for three, puts it in.
LeBron still led all scorers in the quarter with 12, but the Warriors would lead 84-78 entering the fourth.
The third quarter avalanche underway.
Not ideal for sure, but the Cavs were still well within striking distance. The Warriors made their run. Now it was time for LeBron to make a run or two of his own. Checking in with 11:08 remaining in the fourth, LeBron would score or assist on 12 of the Cavs' next 14 points.
Game one of the NBA Finals. Green fires, and it's...
What do you do late game against these great players?
Giving the Cavs a 92-91 lead. The Warriors would respond with back-to-back threes by Curry and Green.
Three, bang!
Timeout Cleveland. LeBron would then proceed to score 9 of the next 12 Cavalier points, punctuated by a drive past Curry and a strong and one over Looney. With 50 seconds left in the game, the Cavs had a 2-point lead. Once again, LeBron was called upon to bring his team back, in the fourth, in the finals, against the super team, and he did. Twice. Then tragedy struck. Thrice. Immediately following the James 3-point play, a block charge call was made.
Slices inside, offensive foul.
Initially called a charge on Durant, it was then reviewed and reversed. A block. The refs deemed James moving at the point of contact. During the broadcast, you can hear referee Ken Maurer explaining the call to the Cavs bench.
He's not in the restricted area, but we're going to review it. He's moving, guys.
Jeff Van Gundy, who was on the broadcast, immediately contradicted him.
They feel he was obviously moving. He was moving there. Again,
You can move, though.
Yes, you can.
That doesn't have anything to do with if you're in a legal guarding position.
Now,
Block and charge calls are one of the most ambiguous calls in the NBA. Think pass interference in football, or balls and strikes in baseball when Angel Hernandez was behind the plate. I've been watching the NBA for a long time, and sometimes I still can't tell.
Like, the one thing I don't like about that is that this is the one time that a foul can be changed. That's based on judgment.
What was the right call? If you're a Cavs or Dubs fan, I know your answer. For the rest of us, I'll leave it for you to decide. In my humble opinion, what separates the great players from the greatest players is what you do during winning time. Do you have a sense of the moment? Do you seek it out? Do you make the right play? And can you come through when your team needs it the most? Durant hits both free throws to tie the game. What could have been a 2-point lead and possession of the ball, LeBron and the Cavs find themselves tied with 36 seconds left. Cleveland takes a timeout, and George Hill enters the game. LeBron on the next play drives past Durant, double clutches, and somehow finishes over Draymond Green to again give the Cavs the lead. Curry responds.
Curry drives, count it, and one! Curry off the glass, and a chance for a 3-point play.
A Warrior foul on the next possession brings George Hill to the line. Hill makes the first. Tie game. With just a few seconds left, the Cavs can take the lead. Hill is an 80% career free throw shooter, comfortably above league average, but winning time can be anything but comfortable.
Hill misses, rebound goes to the Cavs.
Here the Cavs have one more chance, 2.7 seconds left. Plenty of time to get up a shot. Ty Lue elects to not call the Cavs' final timeout. J.R. Smith dribbles out to the perimeter. A LeBron point to the clock. A pass to Hill for a block shot that wouldn't have even counted. Thompson and Green hands up in exasperation. Overtime.
And we'll go to overtime. You get the feeling J.R. Smith thought they had the lead.
He didn't know the score.
I think exactly. That's a bad mistake by J.R. Smith.
We know the rest. For 48 minutes, the Cavs were the Warriors' equal. They couldn't be for 53. LeBron finished with 51 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. 51 being the most he's ever scored not just in an NBA Finals game, but in any playoff game in his career. Years later, here's what comes to mind when I think about Game 1 of the 2018 NBA Finals. Not about the controversial calls, not about George Hill's missed free throw, not about J.R. Smith's blunder, or maybe how it could have all been avoided in the first place if the Cavs just took a timeout, or even how invincible those Warriors teams felt at the time, but how in a game between two heavily unmatched teams, Curry, Clay, Durant, and Draymond on one side, and on the other side, LeBron, who very briefly made you think that there's a chance this could be a competitive series. I think about how he controlled the pace for most of the game, how he dictated everything the Cavs did on offense, how he dominated crunch time in the fourth, how his team needed him to be the answer to every problem the Warriors presented because it was the only one they had, and how it still wasn't enough.